Hey, everybody, we are live on YouTube here for a live edition of Off the Top Rope, Off the Mic Sports Network. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Happy to be doing this on a new camera. A lot of great feedback happened off of what happened at Elimination Chamber, both in the ring and also from this channel. Actually was able to get some super chats in here. So hopefully anybody in here, if you have your questions or anything about what we just saw, I was ready to start the show here and talk about what happened with CM Punk and Seth Rollins, because I thought that was honestly the story of the night. But leave it to Triple H to just completely have me throw the show out the door, right out the window, to start with something completely different. Because for the second time in the last 2 days, Triple H has done something that almost nobody had on their bingo card. He had a title change. And here we are. I understand that we're like about 45 days away from WrestleMania. Nobody thought Rhea Ripley was going to lose to Io Sky. We all thought that we were going to get a triple threat, and I think that's still where this is going. I did not have Rhea Ripley losing this match at all. Shout out to Ashton here in the chat here. He says, "Do you think Rhea's hurt?" Doesn't look like it. She looked like she was really healthy. She wrestled a clean match. I don't think this is health, guys. I think this is a story that they're playing into. Bianca, here's what's crazy. You almost forget that Bianca was distraught because one of her best friends got killed. And I don't know how they're going to resolve that. But like, it's just, to do this. And it says a lot. Let's first start with this. It says a lot about Io Sky, because a lot of people were thinking we were forgetting about Io and what she represents for this women's division. She's one of the most gifted professional wrestlers walking planet Earth, not just female, one of the most gifted performers. And the fact that she is walking into her second consecutive WrestleMania as the champion, that says a lot about Io Sky. So congratulations to Io first and foremost. But that being said, if you had this on your bingo card to start the night, you're crazy. You are delusional if you're here to tell me that Io Sky was going to win the Women's World Championship over Rhea Ripley. Like, that is, some people were saying it was more shocking than the John Cena heel turn. I don't know about that. John Cena, the biggest babyface of the last 2 decades, turning heel in his final year, I think is still one of the most shocking moments in WWE history. Still, this was it's not a bad decision. It's just a shocking move. And I give credit for Triple H daring to be uncomfortable and doing things that most people would not do. A lot of people would have played it safe and, DQ finish, something bullshit. But the way they went about this is they had Rhea get distracted by Bianca being the cheerleader at ringside, and it leads to Io Sky winning the title. And you better believe that Rhea's going to say next week when we get on the air, or at some point saying, "Hey, I was distracted. Give me my rematch." And Io, being the fighting champion and being what she was able to get this opportunity and win the championship, I would believe that she would be inclined to give that opportunity. I don't know if we get a rematch or if this just becomes just a crazy triple threat. But one thing is very certain coming out of this match is that everybody thought we were getting Rhea and Bianca. That's not happening. I always thought that we were going to get a triple threat of some kind at this WrestleMania. So for the legions of fans who are clamoring for Rhea Bianca, calm down. I think we're going to be okay. I understand that there is speculation that Bianca does want to kind of wrap it up here and potentially have a family with Montez Ford. I don't see that really in this respect. But what's interesting to me is the fact that they went the complete other direction. I thought Rhea was going to walk in as the champion. Now there's mystery. Does she get there? But let's get real. Rhea Ripley is going to be the champion. I'm just a little surprised. It's like literally Raw Netflix debut, not even a 2-month title reign for Rhea. Drops it immediately. And if my memory serves me correctly, I think that is the first, I guess you can call it clean pinfall loss that Rhea has taken, I guess, in the last handful of years, because if you think about it, all the Liv stuff that happened when she lost the championship and was chasing was bullshit. Like, all of it was, it was bullshit. There was no really rhyme or reason to no real clean finish. Like, yeah, Liv pinned her, but it was because of a chair shot and because Dom was being an idiot. But Io Sky got a clean pinfall. Yes, it was by distraction, but still, it was clean. It was a distraction, but it was clean. So take that for what it is. Bianca Belair's involvement in this is also very interesting, because I know a lot of people on Saturday were really thinking, hey, we're going. So they went the other way, which is going to probably get a lot of people like me to incline to say that this is going to be a triple threat. Maybe they try to represent it as Io and Bianca, but we've seen that. We saw that in Puerto Rico, and it was a great match for the what was then, I believe, the SmackDown Women's Championship. So it's still, like I said, shocking result. We'll get into the nuts and bolts. It was a great match in its own right. This was, in terms of Monday Night Raw, they've been killing it on Netflix. And we'll get into some of the other particulars of what transpired here from Buffalo, because the crowd was great. Great show from top to bottom. A lot of great segments. Even some of the lesser stuff hit. But yeah, this was a great show, and I think really capped off by I don't often get shocked very much in modern wrestling, but twice in the last 48, 72 hours, I've almost fallen out of my chair. So, did not have that coming. So congratulations to Io Sky. At least for now, it looks like she's facing Bianca Belair. But like I said, I do firmly believe that it will be Bianca, Rhea, and Io for the Women's World Championship at WrestleMania. 3 of the best women in the company. And then on the other side, Tiffany Stratton, the future of the division, and versus the standard bearer in Charlotte Flair for the WWE Women's Championship. You can't honestly tell me that Triple H doesn't give a shit about women's wrestling, given what back-to-back weeks on Raw with killer main events. So, yeah, this is I'm really just amazed at some of the shit that's been going on in WWE in the last handful of it's a lot of crazy stuff here. Anyway, get at me in the chat here. Any questions regarding what you think might have happened? Appreciate people getting at me. Like I said, I don't think this is an injury. I don't think that there's any injury or reason why they would take the title. I think this is purely storyline based. It's clear that that Triple H wants us to be on our heels and wants us to expect the unexpected. And so like I said, it's a massive surprise to start off the month of March, really, with Monday Night Raw. And everybody was looking forward to this match. Everybody was excited about it. Yeah, clean pinfall. So yeah, that's that. We'll get more in depth into that. But the other thing I really need to talk about is CM Punk and Seth Rollins. The start of this Raw was about as good of a start to a Raw episode as I've ever seen. CM Punk, let's break this down here. CM Punk came out as angry as I've ever seen him. Mind you, this guy was angry in AEW. But we didn't see a lot of that on television. It was all speculated on backstage. CM Punk comes out scorched earth, goes after The Rock, John Cena, invokes the name of Becky Lynch, calls out Seth Rollins, and then is throwing fisticuffs in the first 10 minutes of this show. And these guys literally were trying to kill each other. CM Punk bordered, he called I forgot what he called Rock. I have my notes up here for a second, but he called Rock basically like a bald-headed phony or something like that. He goes after John Cena, talks about Rock's fake goosebumps. Like, dude, this rivaled the pipe bomb. Like, this was so fucking incredible from CM Punk. And then the real heat that you got simmering from this whole thing, and it starts with Punk. And it gets you to want, it's like when Punk is in an environment that he trusts and that he understands and he believes in, he is as good as there is in professional wrestling. because that was just 100% faith in Paul Levesque in Triple H and his writing team to give CM Punk some of the reins to go out there and create a moment. AEW's biggest problem is they didn't know how to rein it in, and then they had some of the inmates running the asylum, and they didn't like this guy. And when you lose CM Punk, you lose CM Punk. This was the best CM Punk that I have seen since he came back to WWE. It's at least 10 years. And he was good in the Drew McIntyre feud, but this was so far and away above any level of animosity in heat levels that I have ever seen from CM Punk. And he has been embroiled in some monumental moments in wrestling. But this was just one of the great Raw segments, one of the great opening segments I've ever seen, one of the best promos CM Punk has ever cut. And that's saying something, talking about the pipe bomb. This was epic. This was fucking epic. And for anybody, just, for God's sake, my man Elias from Down for the Count, who I used to do a bunch of spaces with, and I don't know if he's watching this right now. Elias is the biggest CM Punk hater that maybe I know in my existence. Even that converted him. So if you want an indication of how great that opening segment was, that's an indication right there. My Down from the Count boys that are watching this right now, you guys know Elias fucking hates CM Punk. So to see that, and just the way, like I said, the demeanor, everything about this was just so crisp and so well produced, well executed. Everything from start to finish, to the stuff with Rollins. And then they continued it in the back when Kathy Kelly's or actually it was Jackie Redmond, was in the crosshairs. And CM Punk immediately out of the corner of his eye sees CM Punk and just starts going at it and starts throwing hands. I was just like, this is unbelievable. But from the start of this thing where Punk shows up in his truck, slams the door, you follow him to the ring. He's got this no nonsense look on his face, gets a microphone and just starts yelling into the camera and asking people, hey, I'm not messing around here. And I was like, this is scorched earth CM Punk. And anybody who has watched CM Punk, and I've been watching CM Punk for more than 2 decades, an angry CM Punk is the best character and the best performer in professional wrestling. You can go clip that off and tell me that I'm stupid, but CM Punk, when he is angry, it feels real, it feels raw, it feels emotional, and he does not give a flying fuck what he is saying on the microphone. He called out the final boss. He called out John Cena after John Cena beat him in the chamber and, then subsequently turned heel. The only thing that really didn't really have, because obviously we're focused on bigger and better things, is, he didn't really address Cody Rhodes, his friend, being screwed over at the chamber. But, maybe we'll get there and we'll address that, because the other big piece of news coming out of this, obviously this was, to me, before the main event, this was the noteworthy, angle and storyline of the night, was that CM Punk and Seth Rollins are going to have another match on Raw next week in Madison Square Garden in a steel cage. So CM Punk now, this will be his 3rd match on Raw this year, and we're only in March. He hadn't wrestled on Raw in a decade. So don't tell me that CM Punk is useless anymore. For any of you AEW people saying that he's expendable, he's been valuable. And I don't know how in the fuck that match is going to go. You better believe Roman Reigns is probably going to be involved. I would be shocked if Roman Reigns is not on next week's show from Madison Square Garden. That is such a big show and a big venue to do something. So I would expect whatever they want to do, whether it's going to be this triple threat. I've seen people online speculate that maybe they do some sort of extra tag so Rock can wrestle. I don't know if that's going to happen. But one thing's for sure that's been established this night. Everything that we thought we knew about WrestleMania has been turned on its ear. Like, we thought that we were getting Cody and John Cena. We didn't think John Cena was going to turn heel. That happened. We didn't think Io Sky was going to beat Rhea Ripley and be the women's champion going into WrestleMania. That happened. We didn't think CM Punk and Seth Rollins were going to wrestle twice in the span of 3 months, not at WrestleMania. And that's going to happen. So maybe this leads to a triple threat. Maybe this leads to one of these guys facing Roman Reigns and maybe CM Punk. Something happens, screw, because it's a steel cage match. So there is ways to get out of this without somebody looking bad. It could be an escape moment. They could just definitively end this. They're making it seem like they're definitively ending this, but there also is an element of a steel cage match. Just weirdly in WWE only does this, where you can escape and win the match. So it'll be interesting to see how they navigate this. But that was, like I said, opening segment was just a masterclass of business from Triple H. Like this was just, it was so wonderful to watch. Just the best, maybe the best talker ever. Just go completely scorched earth. It brought me back to the days of the pipe bomb, almost 15 years ago. I felt like a kid again. And so many people universally on the internet, the same people who were obviously, still shocked that John Cena turned heel. They were like, this is the CM Punk that we wanted to see in WWE. And they took the chains off last night, tonight, and let it go. So thank you, Triple H, for that. Other couple of notes here. And also, yeah, like I said, get at me in the chat here. And get at me on Twitter at Off the Mic 28 at OT Mike Sports. Thanks everybody here. This is Off the Top Rope, Off the Mic Sports Network. So Gunther, for the second straight week in a row, wrestled a match against Otis, and it was actually pretty good. Listen, it's no secret for anybody who watches this segment and is subscribed to this channel knows that I am not a big proponent of, just doing wasteful matches to get over a guy who's the champion or in a championship match to get to WrestleMania. But if it falls in line with the story of what's going on, then I'm all for it. And Gunther, the last couple of weeks, has put on his boots. He's wrestled matches. And you may say, Mike, he's wrestled Akira Tozawa and Otis. But you want to know what the whole thing, why this worked? Akira Tozawa and Otis, in the eyes of Gunther, is basically what Jey Uso is, a caricature, a joke, and just a gimmick. And clearly, like, they're not. Like, it was an extended squash for both of these matches. But I dare you guys to go watch Akira Tozawa back in 2016 and 2017 before he was this comedy act. And it's a testament to how talented and how, like, charismatic and just, funny he is. Tozawa can work, man. The guy's got stamina for days. Former cruiserweight champion. So it was nice to see him get a nice showing. And Otis, we all love and fucking adore Otis. The guy is a machine. And amateur wrestling background, he's hella entertaining. But, this was a lot of fun. And, it advanced the angle with Jey Uso. You're trying to get over the fact that Jey is a goon, or not a goon, like really a geek to Gunther. We know where this is going. I mean, for a 10-minute match, it's your world champion on television, and it's a story that's relevant to the show. It's not just some random guy that they pulled off the street to give him a match, like what they did with Adam Page, or like, what they've done occasionally with these irrelevant people within matches that Jon Moxley faces. Like, this is why I'm critical of AEW. It's like, it's not hard to, advance a world title angle with wrestling. And normally I'm not for that. If it's just a match for the sake of the match, and like I said, maybe people will be mad at me for saying, Mike, you're giving praise to Akira Tozawa and Otis facing off against Gunther. What the hell is that? Well, Gunther still looked like a killer. He was a little bit vulnerable at points, but this worked. And then Jey Uso comes out, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller get one egg up. That's a payoff from last week. It looks like Jey is going to face Walter next week in a singles match. For a half second, I thought that Jimmy Uso might come out and save his brother, but then, that doesn't really, like, you got to make Jey look strong going into a world title match. As cool as it would be to see the Usos reunite on this tour for Jey to getting the world title, I get why they want to make him look strong. So he kind of took advantage of it. But then Gunther gets the sleeper, and he's ultimately able to get the upper hand. There was a great promo by Jey where I felt like he was talking to the half of the IWC at the end of this thing. So that was great. So then, AJ Styles had a pretty interesting segment with Karrion Kross, who's low-key become one of the better pieces of Monday Night Raw. With his whole gimmick, and now they've dropped the whole Final Testament thing. But Obviously, like there was a whole interview. I think it was Kathy Kelly who did this, and asking, "Hey, you got history with John Cena and Cody Rhodes? How do you feel about this?" And Karrion Kross kind of eggs him on. There was some talk about Logan Paul, and I guess the direction we're going in for Logan Paul at WrestleMania 41 this year is AJ Styles. And I know everybody doesn't like Logan Paul, but AJ Styles and Logan Paul will fucking cook at WrestleMania. That is an outstanding match. And AJ Styles, for as great of a wrestler as he has been, does not have the most stern reputation of WrestleMania matches in his career. His best WrestleMania match, in my mind, shockingly, is against Shane McMahon. Like, think about that for a second. He's faced Chris Jericho. He has faced Shinsuke Nakamura. He's faced Randy Orton. He faced The Undertaker. He's faced the New Day, but that was a tag team match. He's faced Edge, Adam Copeland. And then he faced LA Knight at WrestleMania. Those are his WrestleMania matches. And the best one of the lot is Shane McMahon. I'm here to tell you, if this is the direction that they are going in, because he's going to call him out at Madison Square Garden next week. AJ Styles is going to call out Logan Paul. If this is the direction that they're going in for WrestleMania, AJ Styles and Logan Paul, trust me when I tell you this, will be AJ Styles' best WrestleMania match and may steal the night of WrestleMania that they are on. That is how confident I am in this match. And I despise Logan Paul and a lot of what he stands for. But that guy is fucking talented. So, believe me when I tell you, I am so freaking pumped to see what that segment brings. And, it's a great direction for AJ Styles going into WrestleMania. Like, listen, if you're not going for the world title, if you're not going for the world title, being in a match with a megastar, as much as we don't like him, with as much visibility as Logan Paul does have, that means something. And again, like I said, AJ Styles, for as great of a wrestler as he's been, does not have the greatest reputation of having the best. And it's shocking considering all the names that I read off to you. And the best one he had was with a part-time guy, Shane McMahon, which is just unbelievable to even fathom. So I'm really looking forward to that segment in Madison Square Garden. I love what they're doing with Karrion Kross. Lyra Valkyria beat Ivy Nile in a really a pretty decent Women's Intercontinental Championship defense. And we're live here, and we have apparently we have a missing person here. This is live. This is live stuff here on Off the Top Rope. You got to love doing live content creation here. So, but hey, that's what happens here when we're live here. But yeah, Lyra Valkyria. I don't know if maybe the alert or whatever on my phone was like mad at me talking about that, but this was a good match. Ivy Nile hasn't really had a lot of exposure in her career. Looked pretty good in this match. She did a really good job. Lyra's a good champion. The people of Buffalo knew the task. They knew the task with the woos. And hey, the 9 minute match. Lyra got her finish in and won the match. It's going to be interesting to see how they establish this Intercontinental Championship, because her being one of the first people thrown out of the Women's Royal Rumble, I did not like. Her losing a match to qualify for the Elimination Chamber as the champion wasn't great. And they did the same thing with Chelsea Green. So I didn't like that either. But Lyra's great. I don't know what they're going to do with her at WrestleMania. Becky Lynch has been rumored. That would be interesting, having two proud Irish women in the first ever Women's Intercontinental Championship match on that stage. I don't know if that's the direction they will go. But Lyra's been a great champion, great showcase for Ivy. That's my real quick synopsis of that. Ludwig Kaiser, it seems like he's heading into more of a extensive feud with Penta. Here's the other thing that's interesting, and this feeds into the tag team match that comes up later on in the show. Rey Fenix is now a free man. Rey Fenix is now no longer with AEW. I would expect Rey Fenix to be in WWE relatively quickly, and the Lucha Brothers are going to potentially be on the main roster. And you better believe that is going to be the moment where this tag team division on Raw is going to start kicking it into overdrive with what the SmackDown tag team division has just got this division lapped. It's basically been Judgment Day And they have the War Raiders, obviously, and the Creeds are a great team, but the Creeds just aren't ready for a big time title run yet. Um, and aside from that, I really couldn't tell you any other teams on Raw at this point. Like at some point, like at some of the SmackDown teams might have to go over to Raw because the SmackDown division is fucking loaded right now. Motor City Machine Guns, DIY, Pretty Deadly, Street Profits, Los Garza. Like they've got people all over the place in that division. Like it is insane the level of talent that the SmackDown tag team division is. But the Raw tag team title match was great. The War Raiders win. I love Eric and Ivar to death. This title reign hasn't really done anything for them. They're awesome. I thought that there was a small possibility that there was going to be a title change here, but they didn't go that direction. So they keep them. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. If that's the way that they're just going to immediately push Penta, because you better believe, like I said, as much as I love the Penta and his singles push, if you're getting Rey Fenix anytime soon, you've got to put the Lucha Brothers together. It's just too easy to do. And I've seen an idea tossed around on the internet that because of the whole feud with the LWO and the New Day, like trying to get over their heel characters, they're saying Lucha Brothers New Day would actually be a really good idea. The New Day at some point, that's probably why I think the Creeds didn't win here. Because I think what this is setting up for is somehow the New Day gets embroiled in this, and maybe we do a triple threat tag match, or maybe the New Day wins the titles. But I think what we need to do is we need to get New Day, mix them up with the Lucha Brothers. Maybe that's for the titles or something, and maybe that's how Eric and Ivar lose them. But that's what we need to get to. At some point, we've got to get this New Day thing, like the train, back on the tracks. It is ever since the Big E thing and them getting the massive amounts of heat early on, this has kind of fallen off, and it's disappointing. I understand Triple H has got a lot on its mind, but we got to get back to the New Day and everything. So yeah, the tag team match was great. That was very entertaining. So we're clearly heading towards we're actually heading towards a tornado tag. With Rey teaming up with Dragon Lee against Kofi and Woods. So it'll be a tornado tag, no DQs, no tags, nothing. So that'll be interesting. Next week's Raw from Madison Square Garden. That show's looking loaded. That whole card and then they have it in the theater at Madison Square Garden for NXT next week. Finn Balor seemingly looks like he's getting into a program with Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker's very interesting. He's not a heel. He's not a baby face. He's just cool. And so Finn Balor steps to him, basically says, hey, come at me. I'm untouchable in the ring. And you know what? I do believe that from Finn. But for the love of God, can we do this, guys? Prayer circle. Please, for the love of God, get Finn Balor away from the Judgment Day. Just end this. I haven't cared about the Judgment Day since like a month or so after Damian and Rhea were basically kicked out at SummerSlam. Nobody cares about this group anymore. I was reluctant to care early on when they were like the big subjects of Raw 2 years ago, but now here we are. We're still running this thing. They took away the only cool thing about that group, which was the Alter Bridge entrance music, which Edge probably wanted to get away because Edge is friends with like the lead singer or something like that and knows the band, and they sing his other entrance music. But get Finn Balor the fuck away from the Judgment Day. The best part of this whole segment was Braun comes down, runs out, tries to get some offense in, Dominic gets him away, and then, Carlito, God bless him, takes a fucking nasty ass spear from Braun. So I guess Braun Finn Intercontinental title probably happening on a Raw eventually. Maybe we're heading towards some sort of multi-man match at WrestleMania. I do still think Sheamus will potentially be involved in some capacity in the Intercontinental title picture moving forward, which is very interesting. If Finn Balor's there, you got another Irishman. But yeah, listen, we've got to get Finn Balor away from the Judgment Day. That's my biggest takeaway from this whole thing. And then sort of wrapping it up here, before we get to that, I need to praise WWE for the way they handled selling the angle of what John Cena did on Saturday night. They plug that 500 million social views. 500 500 million social views since Saturday. It's just that's so many platforms that you can factor in together. Like it's unbelievable the metrics that are going into this. I mean, for God's sake, First Take is talking about it. Shannon Sharp Unk is talking about it. Like it's just, yo, man, this is really just it really is just a fucking bananas. It really is just amazing what the whole heel turn did for this industry. Yeah, this is listen, I'm I'm blown away with WWE production and the way that they highlighted just how important John Cena was to the kids. They showed a lot of social media influencers, fan reactions. Saw my guy Santi Zap and Conman167 over there, the proud Canadians, two of the really good ones here in this community. Who, if I could be half the content creators that those two guys are, I'm actually doing something right. So, that was pretty cool. And then you also just see like these flashbacks to all these little kids that John Cena's hugging, right as like you shift the video package and they stop the music, it reaches the crescendo, and then John Cena kicks Cody Rhodes low. It was so well produced, it was so well done. Great job by WWE selling that angle. All right, and then let's get to the main event here. Really, what I want to hammer home is, it's just, listen, this was a fantastic match. A lot of great near falls in this, like a lot of really, entertaining back and forth action. It was a little clunky at the beginning in terms of, the action, because I think Rhea and Io were kind of trying to get their feet wet. But yeah, guys, the women for the second week in a row had a banger of a match, 18 minutes. And let's okay. You know what? I'm not going to go move for move. I'm not going to try and bore you guys to death. I'm not I know a lot of these people. I like you guys to feel like a brisk recap here. I mean, I know I'm at 30 minutes here, but some of these content creators will go on for 2 hours. I'm not going to do that unless you guys want me to. And that's like you said, you don't need to come here and see that. But I think you come here for me to share my opinions. Let's just get to the finish. Like the match itself was great. A lot of people, and I haven't seen the internet since I logged on to immediately do this. Basically, a lot of people are going to clamor and say, why didn't Jessica Carr immediately ring the bell and call for a DQ in that spot when Bianca clearly makes contact and clearly attacks Rhea Ripley? What are we doing? That being said, I actually like that they didn't throw this match out, because that would have felt 10 times more flat than what we got. Yes, I understand. Hey, Rhea loses the title. She screws over herself. But at least it's a story, right? So everybody was trying to figure out how the fuck we were going to get to WrestleMania here, because Liv and Rhea had worn itself out. We had Bianca Belair in the mix right now. And the easy thing to do there was to have some sort of bullshit finish, some sort of double pin, double count out, some sort of DQ, something crazy, or something weird goes down, and then we get the triple threat. Because to me, I just didn't see any logistical way that they, especially with the way that they positioned that shot after Elimination Chamber when Bianca won, that Io was very prominently featured in the shot. It could have been a misdirect or whatever. My thing was, you're not giving Io Sky a title match 2 days after a premium live event just so she could get jobbed out and not be a part of this. So I thought all along this was going to be some sort of non-finish and Rhea was going to walk into Mania as the champion. That doesn't happen because Bianca Belair, and Bianca was the very vocal of trying to cheer on and be like the uber baby face. It's going to be interesting to see how Rhea Ripley is portrayed in this. She's been a little bit more baby face. Maybe she comes off more as kind of tweenerish in this whole thing. Io could be sort of the baby face. The other thing that's really interesting, Rhea is still so fucking cool. I think she's the closest thing to China. I was really surprised, at least in the early portions of this match, how unanimous the support was for Rhea, because I thought Io was getting over a lot in the last couple of weeks. So, but yeah, I mean, it's a distraction. Io gets out of it with a Hurricane Rana off the top rope. It looked like Rhea muttered, this was really the reason why you can really take this finish like and understand that, hey, you know where they're going with the triple threat. She basically just moused to Bianca, hey, I'll see you at WrestleMania, and then Io just gets a couple quick moves, gets the over the moonsault, gets the pin. I thought Rhea was going to kick out, and like I said, it's the first like clean loss that I think she's taken. I'll have to go back and look at this. It's the first clean loss that she's taken in a long time. Because I can't tell you the last time, especially since she became mommy. I can't tell you the last time she took a clean pinfall. Like that's bananas that happened. And you could say it's a distraction, but still, it's a clean finish, man. It's a clean finish. So, I credit WWE for being bold, man, and not taking the safe route. They went out on a limb and did something crazy tonight. And I know some Rhea fans are going to be upset, but a lot of Io fans who thought that she was getting screwed over, they're going to be really happy. And Bianca Belair, hey, listen, as much as we wanted Bianca and Rhea in a match at WrestleMania, and because that's the money match outside of, Tiffany, Charlotte, you could probably do Bianca, Charlotte, or is on the board, but Rhea and Bianca is probably the crown jewel of women's matches left in terms of where they're at as a company. But you add Io Sky into that picture, this has the potential to be one of the great women's matches of all time. I'm dead ass serious when I say that. Rhea, Bianca, and Io could steal the effing show. And if they build it properly, this is another topic of discussion that we could talk about on another video. What will main event night 1? Because that's been the big topic of discussion. We know Cody and Cena is going to main event night 2. That's a guarantee. Does Jey Uso get the main event? Truly, they've been saying it a lot, but do the women potentially shift in there? Because I think Bianca, Rhea, and Io's got a chance. All due respect to Tiffany, Charlotte, I don't think that's a main event match for WrestleMania. I love Tiffany Stratton to death. I more so than apparently a lot of the internet doesn't like her, but and obviously a lot of people just can't stand Charlotte. But I don't think that's main eventing. There's talk of maybe doing some sort of similar setup to what we did last year with a tag match involving The Rock. I don't know, but one thing's for sure, the WrestleMania build has started into a completely different stratosphere in the last 48 to 72 hours, because this has been this is honest to God been two of the better shows that I've seen back to back in a while. And it'll be interesting to see how NXT goes, how SmackDown goes, because Jade's going to be there, Cody's going to be there. And then obviously, NXT's been cooking the last couple weeks. But this was, again, there since the a lot of people didn't like the January 6th debut. That wasn't really for them. That was really to establish themselves. Since that debut, which was honestly, wasn't the greatest show, but it was the debut. It was the pilot. It was the launch. So I can't really get mad about that. But then, like I said, ever since then, they've just been killing these shows, man. Netflix, they made a good investment, and they're clearly, in terms of production, in terms of the way these shows come across, they feel big, they feel massive. And then you're getting shocking moments where, you have a great women's match last week with a title change. Now you have a great women's title match this week and another title change. It's crazy what is going on in WWE. So we'll have a lot more coming here on the channel. Thanks to everybody who subscribed. Thanks to the people, and also thanks to Roger here in the chat. Appreciate you chiming in, my man. Starting to come here first for my wrestling immediate coverage. Well done. I'm just trying to build a following, man. So just throw stuff at your friends, everything. Get this out there. I started doing this a while back. It didn't really net out really well for me. I've gotten some better equipment with me, and if you guys like what you see, I try to do content throughout the week that's not live, and trying to make this a network. If you're also into sports takes, we do sports takes here as well. Clearly the sporting world took notice of what happened at Elimination Chamber with Shannon Sharp and Stephen A. Smith talking about it on ESPN today. So that's great. But yeah, this is gonna be a fun build to WrestleMania. We thought that this thing was gonna be dull. I'm telling you guys, keep doubting Triple H, man. Keep doubting this guy, man. It's just everybody wants to just piss on him and find we keep trying to find excuses to give Tony Khan the benefit of the doubt. And all along, Triple H just keeps like, doing everything. And the minute he does something you don't like, everybody's pissed off about it. Like, can we give Triple H at least a little bit of leeway here? WWE has not been this compelling in a long time. They had a dry spell. But my response to that is, if you're mad about what WWE had been putting on, specifically on SmackDown, go back to 2018, 2019 and watch Raw and SmackDown and tell me that you are upset with what you're watching right now. It wasn't great, specifically SmackDown, since they've gone to 3 hours at the start of the year, but Raw's been killing it. And back-to-back weeks was a shocking title change in the women's division. The women have killed it. Yeah, and that's really my big picture takeaways here. I've been going about 40 minutes. I'm going to sign off here. Get at the channel, follow the channel, like, share, and subscribe. I've got memberships over there. Listen, I'm just trying to do this for the fan and talk about something that I really love. I love doing these live streams. I love talking about sports. I love talking about wrestling. And the community is really at a point, especially, I mean, some of it's not great because of the tribalism that exists. But I want to be a positive and real force in this community. And that's why I do these shows and I tell you guys how it is. If you like it, you can stay. If you're not, you can go find another show. Like, I try to model myself and be as real as I possibly can. Like the guys that I've mentioned, like Santi Zapp and Con Man, who are great creators in this community. JD from New York is a very divisive figure in the community, but I respect him because of his ability to, have a dynamic personality. May scream a little bit too much, but to have a dynamic personality and be authentic, not be a character. Some people, you may think it's a character. I don't know JD personally, but based off the content that I see him create, and also Monster and Andrew Badala and like a lot of these other people who talk wrestling, I have great respect for them. Because one thing I will tell you, they are not phonies. They are real. And even if I disagree with them, I aspire to be like them and make a brand out of something. So if you guys are liking what you see here, pitch this to your friends, tell them about this channel. That's what I want to do, is I want to be a voice for you guys and, express my opinions. And if you agree with them, that's fine. And if you don't like them, we can interact and we can have a conversation. That's really what this is about. So I'm hoping that, this relaunch of the stream here and doing some of these shows, I won't do this every single week, but if there's a big show and a big event, and especially on the road to WrestleMania, we might be doing this a little bit more sporadically or a little bit more consistently but when there's like, some nondescript shows, like, in the middle of in the middle of May, I'm not going to come on, but depending on the feedback from this, that's really how this is going to go. So get at me in the chat, get at me. You have the Twitter up there in the left corner of the screen, OT Mike Sports Off the Mic 28. Like, share, and subscribe on the channel. We have a lot of great content, sports, wrestling, whatever. Like I say, the channel here, if you're new to it, we are all about combining sports and entertainment. That's really what this is about. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. I've been going here for too long. Love you guys. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. And I'll see you guys soon.